I see people at these conventions doing these handshakes, wearing all these suits, but what are you actually doing in order to get that free game out to the people that are on the sidelines? I don't really see too many other people that are actually giving practical business advice. I want to continue giving out free game, free knowledge, my experience out to those who are looking for it. You got to get your foot in the door. A lot of people, they always want the dispensary. They want to say, oh, I'm this big dispensary owner, but a lot of times those opportunities aren't always available. So you have to take what cards are dealt to you. You have to make the best opportunity of that in order to get yourself in this industry, not just sit on the sidelines and hope that one day, oh, I'm gonna get this dispensary and hopefully become a multi-millionaire. Most of the time, it's not gonna happen. The hard part is creating a profitable business that will run on for 5, 10, 15 years. That is the hard part. Let's not get things confused. You gotta get through it, but once you get through it, what are you gonna do? Exactly. You can't just set up a dispensary and think people are just gonna walk into the door. Maybe it might happen for a month, 2 months, 3 months, but what happens when people stop walking into the door? Right. What's your plan? That's what I try to emphasize to people, is that it's not the end all be all, this license thing. A lot of people put way too much emphasis on that. What are you doing in order to sharpen your tools so once you do get an opportunity for that license, how are you gonna scale that into a multi-million-dollar business?
Appreciate it.
It's like a heater. Yo, so we headed to the hotel to drop off our luggage, and then we are going straight to MJBizCon. Gonna see what it's all about, so stay tuned in. Bags have been checked in, so we headed straight to MJBizCon. We'll get back with you when we get to MJBizCon. Peace.
People, they ask me, where are you from? I live here, I'm from here. Not really, where did you go?
I wonder what's the nicest bar? YouTube, what's good with it, man? It's your boy Neil Cannabis, and we are at MJBizCon. We're gonna see what everything is talking about, see everything that you need to know about how to start and scale your cannabis business. We are here at the Mecca, so let's get it. So right now we are on the exhibitor floor, and there's so many different businesses, pre-roll packaging machines, rosin press machines. We don't really got a plan right now. I'm gonna see if we could just get some quick interviews with some people and see more about the business and what they're doing. So we'll just go from there. Can you introduce yourself and your company?
My name is Sam, and this is our brand. So you can see we are specialized in pre-roll combs. And we have a different type of preloads. We have, for example, these bulk 1,000 cones. You can see different type. We can have different colors. We also have flavor cones. So whatever flavor you can imagine. So the flavor bead is actually encapsulated at a filter. So you just need to squeeze. Then the customer can enjoy the flavor.
How do you guys differentiate yourselves from the competition?
I would say we have a lot of different type. We have these like flavor cones. We have the very classic, the dollar cones and Europe cones. And we also have a very interesting one. So this is a very new product we just launched today. That's glow in the dark.
Oh, in the dark.
Yeah, so like people, if they usually during the party, in the evening party, if you can like light it in the dark, that would be amazing. Also glass tip cones and a lot of accessories. So whatever you want in the market, we are all in one solution.
Yeah, too much.
What's going on, y'all? Jalen Jones. I lead the new markets team here for us at Dutchie. Dutchie, think of us like the ghost in the machine, right? Like we're the operating system that's powering about 70% of the legal industry across every legal market. So think of us as like the point of sale that's managing your inventory, handling your customer transactions, collecting that customer data for you to now make better business decisions. Those analytical points that help you forecast and make those safe assumptions on what we should be doing for the business moving forward. You also have online ordering. So we're powering e-commerce for folks. When you think about your normal experience of trying to buy shoes or trying to buy clothes, you'll go online and purchase. Cannabis, we're not able to do the same things. This is still a federally illegal plant. So within our space, you have to have those different avenues for purchasing. So we power the online ordering piece. And then what we just really dove into is providing more of a personalized experience at the retail. So we're leveraging AI and machine learning. So we're just trying to stay on top of tech to be able to say, hey, I know that Nehemiah's coming in. He's a sativa flower guy, whereas Jalen might be more of a hybrid flower guy. We want to be able to give both of us a one-of-one personalized experience and be able to give assets to the bud tender to say, I know that typically you might spend $100, you buy these products, so I want to be able to give the bud tender the power to make recommendations to say, hey, I know you're going to love this because of what you bought in the past. And I also know you typically spend $100, you only spent 25 today. Let me try to throw one of our BOGOs or one of my bundles at you to get that increased cart size. Look at us, again, as the ghost in the machine just to help sell more, sell better, sell the right way.
You come in contact with a lot of different retailers. What do you see as a key differentiator from an elite business and a business that is struggling and doesn't really have the success that it's looking for?
I think the things that are synonymous to success for the retailers that I see across the board, they're methodical about how they go to market. They have their game plan dialed in. They know what they're going to give on, and they're very strict about, hey, this is a non-starter for us. They're confident in their identity as a dispensary. They're not just throwing noodles at the wall and saying, I think this is going to be a great idea because I saw the dispensary across the street do it. They're saying, I know my customer base. I'm confident with my team where our strengths are. This is going to be the flow of our store. These are the products we're going to purchase, and this is how we're going to manage the day-to-day, having those SOPs dialed in. The folks that are methodical about that piece, the operations, everything else typically runs a little smoother. And the folks that are a little all over the place typically burn out. They're discounting everything. It's a race to the bottom. They've overhired. They've maybe purchased a location that was too expensive, and now they can't cover their overhead because they're not able to sell the bud at the same rate that they were when there was only 5 stores in that area. Now there's 20. They are just trying to stay afloat. A fast horse doesn't run long. We might have first mover advantage, and then as the market starts to see a little maturity, we were betting on what it looked like today, not what it's going to look like tomorrow.
If I'm a new cannabis entrepreneur, can you elaborate on the importance of having a software like Dutchie?
Whether it's Dutchie or another top player in the space, compliance is always going to be the biggest pain in everybody's side. And if you're coming to this space without the knowledge that you have from the cannabis industry, you're thinking that, hey, I can just go get Square, Shopify, and I'm good to go. There's hurdles that we have to jump through that your normal retail space doesn't. You have to pay attention to what market you're looking to open up in, because every market's going to differ from each other. For example, New York versus New Jersey, we border. You can take a bridge over or a train over to get from one state to the next, but the cannabis regulations and laws are completely different. Let's make sure we sit down with these active stores that are doing what you want to do to say, hey, who do you use on a day-to-day? Where are your biggest pain points coming in? And are those driven from your internal practices, or is it your tech? Are there limitations on your tech? Cool, now how's that stacked versus what you've seen elsewhere? And then now it's up to you as an individual, what are my non-negotiables? And then what are things that I'm flexible on? There's things that are a trade-off that maybe you can build towards later. So think about when you evaluate your tech, who's gonna give me what I need today, but is also gonna give me the room to expand and grow. Because again, we're not planning for today, we're planning for tomorrow. YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, man, good luck, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you. All right, man. Thank you.
So our brand is Heisman by Ricky Williams. It was founded by Ricky Williams, the former NFL player, Heisman Trophy winner. When he was going through his whole career, he was one of the most attacked and ended up missing over 2 full seasons due to suspensions from cannabis. This brand is really Ricky's way of rewriting his narrative to take something that people criticize him for and turning it into his legacy.
What have been some of the biggest challenges?
Our goal is to launch into as many states as possible while we can still offer a highly curated and quality experience through our products. By going into so many states, every state is like its own country, has its own rules, own regulations. That is what makes it so nuanced, and you have to be willing to learn in each new market that you go to.
What's the 5-year goal of the brand as you see it?
Our 5-year plan is really to be one of the biggest advocates in politics and across the entire nation to legalize cannabis, to lay the foundation to be the official cannabis brand of the NFL one day.
Using this brand as a vehicle to reduce the stigma of cannabis.
100%, to show the positive use cases of cannabis that can help you perform on the highest level, to rush for over 10,000 yards. Ricky's nominated for the Hall of Fame this year for the first time. He was really the first athlete that put everything on the line, stood up for that, and still put up numbers despite the suspensions. That's like one of the biggest visions, is just to be able to come back to the NFL and rectify that with the league.
Right now, we're already in Maryland for many years.
As a product of
He was in Maryland, so we start a campaign, bro. Yeah, so,
Man, that's what I need, man.
I'm telling you, man. Advertising, got a special going on.
For real?
So my name's Melvin. I'm here with Maven Genetics. We're a cultivation company based out of Pacoima, California. We're basically cultivators. We really focus on new and different strains. We're always trying to showcase cannabis in a different light, something that's a little bit different than you normally see, smell, and smoke. We obviously do our own cultivation, our own strains with our own team. We do team up here and there with other cultivation companies, do some fun little collabs here and there. But for the most part, everything is all done under the Maven roof.
I see that you guys take a lot of pride in the quality of your product. What are you doing as far as strategies and marketing to amplify that?
What we really focus on is trying to do everything by hand. We want to make sure that everything has that machine line feel, but it's done with hands and human hearts with a purpose. We want to make sure that everything you have is always the same consistent quality. That way customers always know that when you're looking for quality, you always come to Maven. We do everything non-infused, straight traditional flower. There's no added flavors. It's all cannabis-derived terpenes. It's all true to the plant itself. And I feel like having no gimmick is the best gimmick in a sense. We're just true to the plant. We want to be as authentic as possible. We want to make sure that we're making cannabis for the people who enjoy cannabis at the end of it.
You handle everything seed to sell within your company?
Yeah, so obviously the only thing we don't do is like our own testing, and we don't do our own edibles. We do
you dispensary?
We do have a dispensary. We
Distro and cultivation?
Distro, we've now teamed up with another distribution company, but we used to run that all of ourselves, yeah. But once the company blew up enough, we had to go ahead and actually outsource it.
As far as having a vertically integrated company, what are some of the main challenges that you've faced?
It's just maintaining that quality, that every employee understands how to do everything across the board, and that's why we actually have just people who are very dedicated to their specific skill set as well. So that way everything is done in the best version, and we never have to be scrambling to go ahead and redo something at the last step instead of when we're able to catch it during the initial process of it.
You can
These are 3 different variations of French Lotus. So you can kind of see this is the mother to these. So you can see that's the French Laundry. So this is the pheno closest to the French Laundry. Then you start getting more in the middle.
My name's Anthony Allegrady. I'm the Chief Operations Officer and co-founder of 40 Tons Brand. We're a social impact cannabis brand that believes nobody should be in prison for cannabis. We have products, we have services, we do events, we do a whole bunch of things, but at the root of it, we believe no one should be in prison for cannabis.
So you're doing a phenomenal job of marketing your brand. Can you give some key aspects of what it takes to market your brand in 2024 within the cannabis industry?
Yeah, being in this industry is really hard, right? We get shadow banned. It's really difficult to utilize free resources like social media. We can use them, but we get shadow banned or we get flagged or we get shut down, and so it's really hard. And unless you have a really big budget to run programmatic ads or doing other things like that, you really have to take a grassroots approach. So that's what we did. We have a mission, and what I would say is find out whatever your why is, whatever that mission is. Your mission may not be about social justice. It may be about good, clean product. It may be about locally sourced, whatever that particular thing is, and actually build your brand around what that is. And then stand on just good business.
What are you doing in order to separate yourself from that 99% of other cannabis businesses in the space?
So what we're doing to separate ourselves from 99% of other businesses in the space is look how we set up our booth. That's a prison cell right there. That's the visiting room, right? We got all this, we got real tattoos. You know what I mean? We got people rolling joints. But that's what makes us different, is that we do things differently. We don't just put people's logos on stuff. We do put people's logos on stuff, but in a clean way, in a way that makes it where it doesn't feel like it's so advertised, right? And that's what we do different. And we try to build relationships, man. We wouldn't be able to do this without our sponsors. That's how we're able to do things, is by strategically leveraging partnerships to be able to take things to the next level.
What's some advice you would give to a aspiring cannabis entrepreneur that's looking to start their own brand, dispensary, etc.?
I would say you really need to know what's going on in this business, man. It's not for the faint of heart. Everybody ain't making money. It's tough as shit. It's hard as hell. Running a business in America without cannabis is super difficult. So if you're going to get into the cannabis industry, just imagine getting into the ring with Mike Tyson and actually having whatever arm that you fight with tied behind your back, and you're using your non-dominant arm. That's the cannabis industry. Really do your due diligence, because it's not as easy as you think. You need to study, and you need to make sure you know what you're doing within your region of the country and within your area of the industry that you want to be in. You want to practice, because an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound in cure.
This guy has so much passion, so much energy, so much heart. If you're trying to get into the cannabis industry, you need to learn from him. You need to take the same actionable steps that he's taking. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate all the game, all the strategies, all the information. If there's anything else that you'd like to say to close it out, the floor is yours.
We need access, and that's all we want. Give us a seat at the table. Give us an opportunity to run the race. If we lose because we're not fast enough, that's on us. But if we can never even get in the game to run, then how do you expect us to progress?
Because that's what we kind of put in the middle. I just need like 6 total. The amount of companies here is crazy. It's everything from software to packaging to retail operations, distros, everything you could think of in one place.
That
was a wrap for MJBizCon. It was lit. Got to see a lot of innovative things, talk to great people from the cannabis industry. Man, I really appreciate MJBizCon for inviting me out, allowing me to create content for my audience and really just connect with the industry. If you like this type of content, please like, share, comment, subscribe if you're new. And until next time, peace. I'm out.